So what's up everybody, it's me, True Starscreamer. I hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know, for one, I've been thankful to receive this. If you've been watching this channel regularly, you know I've phased out of Transformers, with the exception of the Yolo Park Megatron and the Yolo Park Optimus Prime. I absolutely love those figures. I love those models. They're probably two of my favorite purchases, and this has been the one, though, I've been building up. I am, after all, true Starscreamer. So, guess who's my favorite Transformer? Swindle's my second, but this is my boy. Plain and simple. And I have been waiting for this. The box art, absolutely gorgeous. The breakdown of what you have here. Oh, I know what I'm getting into, and I am utterly excited. So, I mean, we've got accessories. We know what we're getting into this. As they do before, we've got the little insert on, the little sleeve on here, which is, I don't quite get it because it's like, you know, it doesn't cover the whole thing. But you pull the reveal off, and again, you get this really cool laser art, which I really like. Nothing special on the back. Alright, let's get this thing open. I like how the art just kind of goes around. Alright, let's get this open. We'll look at the parts, and we're going to build this guy. Right here, right in front of you. So there's our main parts breakdown right there. I'm very thankful that the main body is already put together for me. So we've got that. And we've got the filler pieces, and the accessories, and the stand. Alright guys, let's cue the music and get this guy going.
Bring it up, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it up.
Man, I want to say that this is the best Starscream I have held. I want to. I really do. There's so many good things to say about this. There really is. From the body proportions, the balance of die cast, the details on this. I gotta show this to you. I really do. With the ab crunch, you haven't put down there. There's pistons back here. I love it. So that just, so good, so good, so good. The wings here, you can see they're actually on hinges, so you can tilt them back slightly, so that way you have room to move the arms around. I absolutely love that. Knees, this is cool. This back part here can kind of slide a little, so you can pop it up. If you want to expose the thruster a little more, so you get a little more pivot on there, that's great. His balance is really nice. A lot better than Prime's. He's not as back heavy. Again, just the way that this foot is designed, it distributes the weight very nice. That's the things I love. I absolutely love it. The detail on here, everything, all the panels are already panel lined. You know, they've got this weathering on them, this little bit of sort of pseudo battle damage. It's just enough. Just enough to give him some personality. The smirk on his face is great. You also get two other faceplates I want to point out. One is a much more subtle smirk, and the other is a more serious look to it. So, obviously, Skywarp and Thundercracker. We've got the three different faces, so we're obviously going to get all three of them. It'd be stupid not to, and I will be getting them. So let's go ahead and say this. I will be purchasing all three Seekers. It's just... okay, there's two design issues on here that's driving me nuts. So we've got a bicep swivel here. The null ray cannon should have been put up here on the shoulder. It should have been right up here, or the swivel should have been down here. Because if I want to take advantage of that swivel, the whole gun is twisting. So if I want to have a look like he's got his hand on his hip, yeah, the null ray is moving forward with it. And that bugs me. I feel it should always be on the outside of the arm. So I really think this port should have been put up there. That really bothers me more than it should, but it does bug me. And I think that is a design flaw. I really think, again, they should just move that port up there and everything would look good. The other thing is he barely has a waist swivel. I mean, he's got ab crunch, which is great, but because of how this channel is down here, I can barely twist he can barely twist. So that is a bit of a bummer, because I can't have him like I can't get some of the real arrogant poses out of him because of that. I can't have him, you know, pointing, you know, having the arm outward, twisting out this way. You know, normally I would actually have the legs like this with the body going forward for him shooting the null ray forward, but I can't. So I can't have that kind of defiant look to him, which drives me nuts, because that's exactly how I do him. I want his hand on his shoulder, or hand on his hip, waist twisted forward, and yeah, I can't do it. I mean, I could pop him apart real quick. You know, have it going like that. Like, that's how I would want him. And I don't know how I could alter this properly to do what I want, because you can see here how this notch is here. Apparently is this supposed to be removable? The canopy is supposed to be removable for the battery pack on here according to the instructions, but there you go, pop that back into place. So that really is a bummer, the waist and these. Some other neat details on here. These ports open up. As you can see, we've got the missiles on here, and then we also get missile effects that can plug in here, and it's kind of neat. It takes advantage of this crosshair, and you can actually wedge this into the crosshair. Quick edit there. But yeah, so you wedge the missiles into the crosshair, so it looks like the diagonal, they're firing on the diagonal, which is kind of neat. I mean, yes, it would have been kind of nice if those were painted properly, just have the purple missile tips, but that does look pretty cool. So we also have a neat blast effect here that you put this on here, and we've got his null rays going. Cool. Or at the same time, I could take this and plug it into the port down here as an engine effect. I probably would just take out that. So now it looks like that's taken off, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't have minded this actually being able to port on there by itself, but yeah, it is what it is. So that's pretty neat there. Have I mentioned I like how their drop-down hips are done? I think that's a pretty neat piece right there, and then everything just kind of gets out of place. It gets just how you want it. Here he is with Megatron. They look awesome next to each other. I think I do like the height difference between them. Starscream is actually smaller than Megatron, which is appropriate. I think they scale very well together. But man, see, that torso really makes a difference. Even just having that another quarter inch of turn would allow me just to do so much more for him. More importantly, here he is with Megatron transformed. I gotta say this should have been a better fit. I don't think they thought this through. I would love for them to make a 2.0 version of the transformed Megatron. Once again, the stock either should have been longer if I wanted to have it in the stock mode, in the full pistol mode, because he just doesn't hold it properly. If I take off the stock though, that at least fits a little better in his palm, so I can that definitely looks much more natural. Also, the gap between his fingers just doesn't quite work well with the trigger, so that's disappointing. That is really disappointing. He cannot hold Megatron, the Megatron alt mode that well. Maybe you can kind of fudge it a little if you have it like this, but if you look how it's supposed to be gripped, it just doesn't look right. That really that does disappoint me. I think I would have liked it better. This just needs to be a little bit bigger, and also an effect part would have been good for that, so I could do the whole scene from Transformers the movie. I'm not going to do too much with this, but I have to say this also is a letdown, that the stand can barely hold him. I'm not just talking about the weight, but the grip. It just does not work. I'm sorry. I can't. The claw here just does not grip him right. And that is a damn shame, because this guy is supposed to be in the air for aerial shots. I do wish that this panel was removable and I could plug the stand into it. That would be cool. Just making sure it isn't removable so I don't feel like an idiot. Like some of the Super Robot Shigokins and Revoltech figures, I think that's one thing that this figure truly needs, because I cannot use the flight stand on this guy. And this is Starscream. He's supposed to be in the air. I've got these effects that work on his boots, and I can't get him to sit in that stand right. Maybe I can find out something after I finish recording, but at this moment, at this time, no, I cannot seem to pull it off, and that bugs me, because I kind of dig these stands. I really do. And because Prime and Megatron go on it fine, especially with their weight. I do have to say, this guy's got a good amount of die cast on him. Bring a magnet to him, and I can feel a little bit of grip on there. Not too much, but there is die cast on there. Actually, if it is, it's not very ferrous. But you can feel at least the weight to it, which is kind of nice. So that's a shame that stand doesn't work. When it's all said and done, believe it or not, I actually have been re-recording these final thoughts, per se. I had to sleep on it, kind of give it a think over. Yes, it's good. I am going to be buying all three of these. Absolutely. I don't need the Sunstorms. I don't need the Acid Storms. They do Coneheads. That would be kind of interesting. But the pros truly outweigh the cons. This guy looks almost exactly like the masterpiece Starscream that doesn't transform. So if you're someone like me who would buy a transform it once, put it in bot mode, put it on the shelf, there you go. $60. Life is good. Yes, there are cons to it. I was pointed out to me, the null ray is always on the bicep, which is true. I really, though, would have preferred this elbow, here to be a swivel, so that way I could have the arm going in. Like that, that bugs me. It does. The waist joint, though, that really does bother me. Though I think also on the latest MP one, the waist joint was almost non-existent. And again, I get it, because how the sculpt is there, but I think they really could have put a trench of some kind in there, some kind of track, so the nose cone could twist around in there. Probably the biggest letdown of all, though, has to be the stand. Not being able to use the stand is driving me nuts because I want him in aerial poses. Absolutely. Especially when I have these effects that allow him to fly, you know, to give these aerial looks to it. I think it really is a disservice to the figure. Everything else, though, well, okay, that, and finally, I would have loved an updated version of the Megatron pistol that he could actually hold. That, I don't know which bugs me the most, the stand or not being able to hold the Megatron pistol. And I admit it, I am completely nitpicking it. But hey, this is my channel. I buy this thing, and that, since I have paid for it, it gives me the privilege of being critical. But again, the details are beautiful. The use of die-cast is fantastic. The weathering, the panel lining, that part, freaking-impeccable. This build was probably the easiest of all three of the Yolo Park builds. It was intuitive, it was quick. I have no complaints about that. The accessory count, the other accessories, the missile launchers going in, it's a clever use of the mounting system. Probably also would have liked if the null ray could have plugged directly into the gun without having to use the blast effect, but again, that's just nitpicking. So I do recommend this. I absolutely do. It's going to look fantastic on the shelf. I do not have the 301 to give it a proper comparison, but it's half the price. The 3.0 was like $118, $125, and this guy was skin was $60. So economically, it's ahead of the game. And Yolo Park is still, they're knocking him out of the park. Again, I love this gimmick with the back heel being able to slide up. I think that's kind of neat. So I am happy with my purchase, gripes and all. But let me know your thoughts down below. Am I being overly critical? Tell me down there. If I'm being critical enough, tell me down there. If I'm not being critical enough, tell me down there. Bring me the interaction, kids. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the closer we get to that Vanguard giveaway. Again, I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we've got so many cool things coming in. I got Street Fighter figures that just arrived. I've got some, I can do more Valiverse if you like. I got it all. So hit the subscribe button. But, most importantly, as always, until next time, take care. Peace.